Okay guys, so let's go ahead and try this last one, or the last four. So looking at this, we have a 3 radical 5x y to the fourth and radical 3x to the fourth y to the fourth. So let's see, what can I simplify here? I can get rid of the x's, so I have this 1x up at the top. Don't want that, that's going to go away. This becomes a 3. I have 3 y's on the bottom, so those are all going to go away. This becomes a 1. So let's go ahead and write out what we just said we did. We have 3 radical 5y over radical 3x to the third. Okay, now, I can go ahead and multiply both of these by radical 3x to the third radical 3x to the third. So that's going to give me 3 radical 15y x to the third over 3x to the third, because those would just cancel out. Now I have a pair of 3's, so these are both going to go away. So that's going to give me radical 15y x to the third over x to the third. Now, square root of x to the third, that I have 3 x's, so I'm going to circle my pair, put a box around the other one. So I'm going to have radical 15 xy, or I could put yx. This circled pair goes on the outside over x to the third. We have an x on the top and on the bottom, so that tells me that I'm going to have radical 15xy over x squared. Okay, so now go ahead and try this next one. So looking at the things that are under the square root, we have a to the third and just a plain a. I'm going to go ahead and say that this should be a to the second. This is going to cancel, so I'm going to have 5a to the second, square root of all that, over 3 radical 2. 5 I can't really split up. The a though, a squared, if I'm taking the square root of that, that means I just have an a on the outside, radical 5, because if you think about it, I have a, so that means they're circled, over 3 radical 2. Can't have a radical on the bottom, so we have radical 2 over radical 2. So we have a radical 10 over 3 times 2. So finally, finishing up our simplifying, we have a radical 10 over 6. That is my final answer. Okay, let's go ahead and try the next one. So go ahead, see what you can actually simplify. So what can you take out? What looks the same? Okay, so for me, it looks like I have a 3 and a 6. So the 3 is going to go away. The 6 is going to become a 2. I have x's on the top and the bottom, so I'm going to cancel out this x. This becomes a 2. I'm going to cancel out this y. This becomes a 2. So let's just simplify this out the way that it should be. So we have radical x squared over radical 2y squared. Now, looking at this, the square root of x squared is just x. So now I know I have x over radical 2. Square root of y squared is just y. So x over radical 2. Now I'm going to multiply the top and the bottom by a radical 2, because I'm not allowed to have that radical down in the bottom. So that tells me I have x radical 2 over y, or 2y. Or you could write y times 2. It means the same thing. But this is the final answer. Let's go ahead and try this very last one. So I'll give you a second and then we'll check it together. Okay, so I have 10, I have 15, I have x's and x's. Okay, so this tells me that 10 and the 15, they both have 5 that go into them. So now I know I have 2 over 3. My x's, I have 2 x's and 4 x's. 4 x's is bigger. So that tells me I have no x's on top. And 4 minus 2 is 2. So now I have the square root of both of those. And then this 2 that was out front is just going to stay out front. So I still have this 2 here. Okay, now, radical 2 is still just radical 2. I can't really do anything with that. 2, square root of x squared is just an x. Radical 3. Now I'm going to multiply the top and the bottom by that radical 3 because I'm not allowed to have it. So I have radical 6 over 2x times 3. So I have radical 6 over 6x. This is my final answer. So you're going to be doing your homework on Delta Math, and then make sure you do 2 lessons on iReady. Have a good rest of your day.